now. Hello and welcome to a political breakdown show about the week's news where me and some guests talk about the madness that's actually going on at the moment. This week, we're going to be going over Zoom, and my guests are Alex Martini, Patrick Brusnahan and Raul Kohli. So let's start with fucking Corona. Let's get it out of the way. How is it treating everyone? Are we losing our minds yet?
I am Alex Martini. My mind is never been here. What I'm starting to do is planning for the worst, which is basically the fact that I've heard several interviews where they say that right now should be planting season and people is not going to planting. We're going to run out of vegetables in 12 months. So like I'm enjoying my vegetables now like I've never had before.
Now, on the coronavirus, we're a lot of talk about potentially boycotting companies. Raul, are you going to be boycotting other companies after this?
I think most of them will go under by the time we get the chance to boycott them anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think like Sports Direct, that's a big one, isn't it? Virgin Atlantic, that's another one. Richard Branson and Mike Ashley. I mean, they're both fucking bastards. One of them, sorry, can we swear on this?
Oh, I mean, it's me, so yes.
Fucking right. Just double checking. Yeah, because fucking I've always said Mike Ashley's a bastard. And I've always said Richard Branson's a bastard from Virgin West Coast. But I reckon by the time we're let out of our house, Virgin Atlantic and maybe Sports Direct could have both gone under.
How about yourself, Patrick? Are you going to be boycotting anything?
Well, it's difficult because all the stuff, all the companies that do things wrong, they're very convenient and very cheap.
Well, this is it. I mean, like,
so, you know,
Direct,
I mean, where else am I going to get ping pong balls last minute? Where else am I going to get ping pong balls last minute if it's not for Sports Direct? Where am I going to get a pint that's cheaper than tap water, you know, if not for Wetherspoons? All these companies, they kind of need to be boycotted, don't they?
You would expect so, although I know that Wetherspoons have now come out and said that they will be paying their staff 80%. But that is only owing to a massive backlash from Twitter, mainly.
But that's like when I talk with my agent, what's 80% of fuck all, you know?
Yeah.
What cut is that really?
Well, a lot of the people who are saying they're going to boycott Wetherspoons don't go into Wetherspoons.
Yeah.
You see all this going, oh, I'm boycotting them now. They're going, yeah, but when was the last time you went in there? Going, oh, 2014. Well, it doesn't fucking matter then, does it?
Hardly the USSR boycotting the Olympics, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Now, continuing, the World Health Organization have said that alcohol is an unhelpful coping strategy for the lockdown. Agree or disagree?
Alcohol is amazing.
What should you be doing instead of drinking them? What are our thoughts?
Looking after the kids. But give me that. I don't know. Well, there's nothing else to do because the only thing they've left open is off licenses.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's really nowhere else to go.
You can get pasta sauce in a packet and alcohol. It's all off licenses do, isn't it?
Bacon as well.
Bacon? Yes, I had 2 bacon rolls this morning because it's the only thing that's keeping me happy.
2?
Yeah.
Lush.
Doing well in the pandemic economy. 2 bacon wrapped.
I'm a firm believer. Either die early or just live life anyway. I'll go hunting after this. It's going to be fine.
I'm trying to keep fit just in case there's a breakdown in Law and Order. I need to fucking run quick.
I'm more arming than keeping fit. Have weapons, then you don't need to start running.
What type of weapons we're talking?
I have a hatchet next to me pillow and a knife under me pillow.
Can you admit that online, even in like a time of quarantine?
It's for yes, because it's for protection. Because where I live, I've seen a couple of people attempt to break in, so it's only for that reason. Of course, I would never hurt anyone innocent because I'm a nice guy.
A knife under your pillow, that's very ambitious, in case you seduce a nemesis.
That's it. I've always... Now,
Lovely to bring your gun to bed with us, James.
It's just, I mean, it's things to keep yourself occupied. You know, I've learned how to pick locks in this time. Just doing fun, inventive things.
I had a dream where I ate a hedgehog and one of them, a knife was.
No one got that joke, unfortunately, Patrick. As your
Did he mean to turn his mic off?
no, it's just what happens when Patrick does a joke.
Dude, classic mic technique. That. Turn your mic off right at the punchline.
Moved it away for comedic effect so no one could hear the punchline.
And then come in with a late topper.
Now, it seems this will be the final thing on coronavirus before we move on, because I can't be fucking bothered. Police are getting more calls at the moment from people who are dobbing in people for going for 2 runs a day.
We're trying to like channel the Blitz spirit, aren't we? And that sounds a bit more Gestapo.
Oh, this is it. I mean, the idea of the Blitz spirit is a fallacy anyway. A lot of these people would have turned off the turned on the lights during the Blitz. Is Patrick Brusnahan gone now?
I think so.
No, I'm just switching room, so I turn the camera off so you don't see. So you can't, figure out my location by, a reflection of my eyelids.
You should have probably done that earlier when you
earlier
walked out
well.
for the cigarette. Right, everyone's smart in retrospect. Would you shop someone who goes out for a couple of runs? Anyone?
No, but you tell people that if you go on a run and you are maybe asymptomatic, you might be risking killing people. So, I mean, sometimes authoritarianism is better. You stay home and you stay fucking home.
What do you think?
Say that again, Raul.
Why not? Really good answer there. I think that's a better idea. Instead of dobbing them in and snitching on them.
And we lost him.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
back.
I tried to get arrested. I keep telling the policeman, this is my second jog of the day, I swear. They go, this is probably the first jog of your life, mate. Never mind. Day. Get home.
I reckon, you should do what Alex does, and instead of snitching on them, you should ring your neighbour up and just start screaming, "Murderer! You murderer!"
Yes, I do that.
Right. Now, we've covered coronavirus. No one gives a fuck. Let's move on.
Yeah.
The CEO of the Independent School Association has said that some private schools are likely to fold as the vast majority of schools do not have huge resources. So, with regards to private schools, should private schools be given help by the government to keep?
No, they should be nationalized.
I mean, that would stop them being private.
Exactly.
Will nobody think of the private schools? Please, can somebody please think of the private schools?
Well, you'd have a look. Private schools have educated some of the most powerful people in this country. Whether it's good or bad, they have received an education that has allowed them to reach the very top. Of course, their parents and everything else has helped. So is there an argument to be made that private schools have a use still in society?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, really. Because it is just a one-way track to get into power undeserved. It's basically the caste system now. Your mum and your dad went to private school.
I'm fucking here with you losers.
Say it again.
I said, I don't know. I went to a private school. I'm here with you losers.
You say you're here. I mean, spirit maybe, but connection hardly.
At least mine's accidental. That it deliberately turned a mic on and off for fucking added effect.
Rahul's here physically, mentally, emotionally, we don't know.
Okay, so
audibly, fucking Patrick, audibly.
Please, sorry.
That is perfect timing for him to start saying audibly and then it cuts out. That's beautiful.
Rahul's always been the master of making sure his Wi-Fi cuts off at the right time for comedic effect. I need to buy another hour of BT Open Zone. Excuse me.
You're fucking.
Let's move over to some good news, shall we? Some actual upbeat news. There's been a new study that has shown that international cooperation on ozone-depleting chemicals has helped to return the southern jet stream to a normal state. So, first off, this is obviously good news. Does that give you some faith that we have the potential to reverse climate change?
Yes and no, in the sense that we don't know how much of this is time related, how much of this is reversible. Technically, this last 2 months have been the best thing for northern Italy. Over northern Italy, about the 90% of the pollution is gone because factories have stopped polluting. Is it good for us? I don't know. Yeah, you don't know whether climate change can be reversed, yes or not. I personally think we are already past the saving point.
Patrick
Brusnahan here from Extinction Rebellion. I mean, yeah, sure, we could reverse climate change if every human in the world went, but I don't think that's really the point we should be going for. Sure, it's helped out, but I mean, I think it will spike again. Once everyone can do everything they used to be able to do, I think there's going to be a massive splurge of people driving their cars, going out, spraying links into the ozone.
So you reckon everyone's going to be doing double holidays?
Yeah, exactly. I've been told specifically at work during quarantine zone, please take holiday days because we don't want, as soon as everyone's allowed back at work, everyone to take their holidays at once. It will be a massive splurge.
Just all of a sudden, instead of getting the train to Liverpool, everyone's just going to fly everywhere in future.
Yeah, I insist only to flying to Liverpool.
How about yourself, Raul? Do you think that the collaboration that the international community has done on the ozone layer will give you hope for climate change? I tried to ask him a question. We'll go back to Raul in a little while. Patrick, you got any news stories you brought along?
Well, something that I was just wondering if everyone did here. Did we all go out and clap for the NHS?
No, I didn't. Mainly because what's the fucking point? I understand the giving the NHS respect.
Doesn't it save the southern jet stream or something?
Say it again, Raul. It's as though we've got Raul as our war correspondent at the moment. Just over in Yemen.
In the Hong Kong protests. Like one of the guests on this podcast is the video from The Ring.
Raul's going to be connecting twice.
Twice now.
I mean, it's ambitious.
Okay, I'm removing one. I'm removing one.
No,
look
at that. That's a proper one.
Okay, I need to remove one.
There we go.
Yeah, move his still frame. Can you hear us, Raul?
Yes, I'm using my phone internet now.
Can you now close your laptop?
Sorry?
Can you close now your laptop?
Yep, my laptop is closed.
It doesn't look like it's still on. Okay, I remove it manually.
Yeah, kick me the fuck out, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Now, what we were talking about before was the question I asked you was with regards to the international cooperation on the ozone and bringing it back to a normal state. Does that give you hope that climate change in itself can be reversed?
Some degree of hope. I reckon someone will make it through. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'll be able to reverse a bit of it. It's like giving up smoking, isn't it? But I think by the time we've reversed it, like, the vast majority of us will be long dead as a result of climate change, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's still, even with the coronavirus, it's still the biggest issue that we face.
I don't think we as a species are willing to do what is necessary because, you know, fucking bacon sarnies taste lush.
And the thing, you know, bacon will taste worse if, like, the animals came willingly. It just lose that sort of thing. They need to be hunted down and farmed, and it just adds an extra taste to it, really.
That's an argument I've always made with regards to people who want to stop farming. If you want to stop farming, then fine, but you can't stop people eating meat. We have forever been omnivores. We have always eaten meat. And so if you want to start allowing people to just hunt, then you're going to see the greed of you're going to see the greed of humanity, and we will hunt everything to extinction just for lunch.
Then you know what we need as well as, like, if we're gonna, like, I think it'd be sweet if everyone just went hunting instead of factory farming. But I think you also need, like, bacon pimps or pig pimps.
Yeah.
You need someone to, like, force loads of pigs to fuck and just keep releasing them in the wild. But if you, like,
so almost farm pigs.
Sorry?
So almost farm pigs, just make a game of it at that point. Because if you're forcing pigs to fuck, that's basically farming, isn't it?
Oh shit! Yeah, it is, isn't it?
If you want to force pigs to fuck, you might as well have a phone party at Liquid.
I mean, how up for it are the pigs, or pigs are fan of sex, or what?
They're vicious creatures, man. They'll fuck anything, pigs, mate.
There you go. So they're fucking for fun. It's not like it's a forcing thing.
Yeah, they look like a Swiss Army knife for that tail and that dick of theirs.
And then you release them in the wild, they get hunted, they're pretty much getting shot straight away. Job's a good one.
Right. Let's go back to Patrick's question with regards to the NHS.
Clapping for the NHS.
Yes. Did everyone clap?
I did clap because I thought it was a bit cheesy, a bit stupid and all that, but there are NHS workers there. And it's sort of a nice thing, if a bit, you know, pointless. But it's a remarkable thing about people who actually did it, because it's one of those things that every sort of mum and dad and grandparents spread around Facebook. So a lot of people did it. And I guess NHS workers did appreciate it. And if anything, that is better than a pay increase, in my opinion.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that's it. Yeah. Having people paid for what they're actually worth, and not just saying, oh, we're in a pandemic, it turns out you are needed, then this is my issue. And you've seen so many people, including Jeremy Corbyn, who I thought was a cunt beforehand, but after the NHS stuff, my good God, what a piece of shit. Self-serving wank stain of a human being. Hating Jews isn't even the worst part of him after seeing that. It was fucking ridiculous. Him outside of his house on the road, clapping the houses to get them out. So it looked like they were all fucking clapping him. And then going on TV talking about how he was proven right because of a fucking pandemic. It's madness. This the self-serving nature of the clapping was the bit that annoyed me more than the clapping.
He reminded me of that chairwoman in Norwich.
Oh, fucking Delia Smith.
Delia Smith.
Yeah,
Let's be having you.
Let's be having it. It really reminded me of that when he span round and sort of giggled and grinned awkwardly and then started, like, rousing everyone up like that.
Yeah.
Sort of like, I thought it was, quite cringeworthy, but he should have been gone 7-8 months ago.
Yes.
He should have completely, like, the fact that he's still there just makes the Labour Party a zombie party. And if anything, the Labour Party have been fucking blessed by coronavirus. Because as a result, is it the local elections in May or April?
It's been
delayed
moved
for a year.
Yeah, been moved to 2021 now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was meant to be April or May.
Yeah, and they would have been
Whether
destroyed.
it was Keir Starmer, Lisa Nandy, or Rebecca Long Bailey, if it wasn't for coronavirus, they would have had to go in this election with a month's worth of preparation, and they would have been apparently, according to statistics, according to like polls and shit, they were going to get absolutely trounced. And that's because Jeremy Corbyn's just been a fucking White Walker zombie leader for the past fucking 7 months. Like, I lost, but I'm not going. I'm not fucking leaving.
Now there's a pandemic. I have to stay. I've got to be it.
I mean, this is a thing they've continued even to now, allowing the Tories to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And everyone's going on about how well the Tories have done with this. They haven't. They truly haven't. All this has shown is how the previous 10 years of a Tory government have ripped apart this country. That's what it's shown.
It also shows how the ideal behind Thatcherism is completely like just the ideal behind Thatcherism, which they base like modern sort of conservatism on, is open to like explosion any minute. Because if you're going to kill people if you're going to kill like 120,000 people for staying in their house and not working, then it's quite hard to tell them to stay in their house and not work in the case of a pandemic. But also when you're talking about people's stake in society, if you're wanting to kill people just for like losing their job or whatever, or make them feel that disenfranchised from society, then why the fuck are they going to stay in the house for you unless you force the police to force them to stay inside?
Yeah. Well, that brings an interesting question. It's something I've seen a lot being spread around. Does this show that socialism is the answer?
No, I mean...
It proves that it can be done.
Yeah. Socialism works in only one case, when no one is a cunt. And we know what Ashley Haden thinks about that.
Everyone's a cunt.
Exactly.
I do not think that this has shown that socialism works, mainly owing to the fact that if socialism is only going to work during a pandemic, it does not work. Exactly. If you require this level of fear, this level of destruction, frankly, of the economy and everything else for your idea to work, then it's a shit idea.
Yeah.
No, but that's not what it's proven though, mate. It's proven that it can be done. It doesn't if it can be done during a pandemic, it can be done any time then.
Well, no, because this is going to be paid for. This is all going to be.
But it can be done. It's going to be hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube now that we're giving people like money to help them survive. Why can't we do that all the time now?
Because I mean, yes,
I know there are people in Venezuela eating rats, and Flint, Michigan, still doesn't have clean drinking water or whatever, and blah blah blah. But it proves that there is the money there because the money is false, the money is fake. You can give people 80% of their basic income. You can give a universal basic income. It always there, but now they have to do it. So why not do it all the time?
Universal basic income is yet to have a working test.
Yeah,
should be state mandated wives and girlfriends for the populace.
We want nationalised prostitution.
Nationalised prostitution, or isn't that just working anyway? Oh, hello, thank you, Radio 4.
Now I think is the time to rethink monetary policy, in the sense that the actual monetary policy that we are right now is broken. That is what is breaking capitalism. We need to move to a post-Keynesian monetary theory. I'm a big fan of MMT. I don't know if you know anything about it.
Yeah. Is that ayahuasca?
No.
It's the economic equivalent.
Yeah.
I'm in favor of printing money to create maximum maximum amount of job and minimize people out of work. And I know that it will devalue the money, but if everybody does it, everybody has a job, everybody's got a purpose. Ashley, what do you think?
But then that becomes a bit like Zimbabwe, where Kit Kats are worth more than property.
Zimbabwe, the problem is because you printed money for yourself, not printing money for everybody.
I didn't print money for myself, Alex. Don't point your finger at me through the airwaves.
We all know that you are actually Robert Mugabe. We all know this.
Which brings me to my next question: is whiteface acceptable?
I think with Patrick on that idea. The idea of just making money absolutely worthless is you either take away money or money has value. You can't have it both ways. If you have money that doesn't actually have any form of value, then
you end up with Disneyland dollars, which you can only spend within the theme park, and none of the restaurants accept it.
I'm with all of you, right? But I think it's a sort of merge of the arguments. I think it's a sort of deeper question we're asking right now that we're being forced to ask as a result of coronavirus, which is we're being forced to ask what is the value of money, but also we're being forced to ask like what's the value of society, like what's the value of my neighbor? Because like again, if I'm poor, like okay, let's say money's worth everything, right? There's no contribution, there's nothing to help me out. And why the fuck, if I've got coronavirus, should I not go out the house?
Well, I don't think that the idea of you not having money means that you should go out and start killing people.
Not killing people. I never said that. You fucking just.
Yeah, but
I said go out to work. But if I've got symptoms and I'm coughing, obviously, like I'm killing people by proxy. But if you're killing me by not like because I can't work anyway, or like I'm not getting benefits.
The welfare system, because I don't like calling it benefit system because
welfare
it makes it sound like you're being handed something that you don't deserve. Like, oh, you're getting a benefit from here. No, it's a welfare.
Yeah, it sounds like Alton Towers tickets from Tesco Club Card points.
Yeah, but isn't that one of the fundamental reasons why a more socialist society? Like the idea of socialism, stop it. It's the same with capitalism. It's an old idea. Stop fucking living in the past and doing ideas that don't fucking work. But a more socialist environment where we do look after the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I think that has been such a struggle is because of the words that we use. So the continuation of calling things like benefits, handouts. I mean, it's always pointed out that it's a handout for the poor. But it's when it's given to the rich, it's not. It's never called a handout for the rich. So,
I agree.
The language is a thing, definitely.
Because if we change the language around it, then because studies have been done to show that if you change the language around it and ask people, well, what do you think about looking after the most vulnerable? People tend to go, yeah, we should. But then if you say, well, should we give these people benefits? Oh, no, everyone's on benefits, a fucking scam and everything like that. So it's the actual wording that we use that allows for a society that allows the most vulnerable to...
All right. If you're not compensating me to stay at home and cough on myself, then I'm forced, am I not, by sheer means of survival to go outside and work.
Certainly, if you do not earn enough money by staying at home, or you're not given enough protection to stay at home, self-isolate, and you need to go out to work to be able to afford things like food, then you have to go out to work. But
then that goes back the other way once this is over.
In what sense?
Well, because if you're asking me, let's say I don't have any symptoms, right? If you're asking me to do a favor for you, if you're asking me to do something for society, then when this is over, if I fall on hard times, but the rest of society is going okay, then that society's got to come in for me.
Yeah, but that's the welfare system.
Yeah. But the welfare system's fucking shit. It doesn't really exist in this country.
It's not shit. It's been ruined by Tories in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
That's one. You could also say it's been ruined by the poor because they love a handout.
No, it's not true.
Smoking and getting fat.
No,
and
it's
they're
not.
sticking this country's money should be going to something better, like nuclear weapons for a war that will never happen.
Yeah.
That's what we should be spending money on. But to make it serious, like to move people into a different way, like instead of thinking in the past, past socialism, capitalism, it is difficult, especially I'd say for the UK, especially difficult to have people think in different ways. People are obsessed with living in the past in this country. I mean, we brought Gavin and Stacey back and 50 million people watched it.
Yeah. And you
So,
weren't in
Without-
quarantine.
Without the quarantine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, without the quarantine, it's like we chose to watch Gavin and Stacey. That's what we want. We choose monarchy. We choose Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah.
Mrs. Brown's Boys, the fake Mrs. Brown, an icon for the trans community, has 7 different shows. We yearn for that past, and we don't like change, it seems. So
I'll make you
even with
right.
the change of language, I think it will be difficult to shift the mindset, especially in the UK.
Yeah, I don't see there being a fundamental shift after this. I think we'll go as close back to the status quo as we possibly can do.
Yeah.
I think it could be a catalyst across the world for increase in like leftist policies.
I think it will be like the Arab Spring. It was a lovely idea. It was fun when it happened, but it changed literally fuck all, apart from making a few countries even worse.
All right, come on, man. A lot of people died, Ash.
I know a lot of people
Loads
died.
of people died.
Yeah, I know a lot of people
My
died.
main
A lot
man
of people
Gaddafi
for this.
died.
Yeah, but did Gaddafi die because of Arab Spring?
No.
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
No.
Yeah, because the Arab Spring happened, but it was way after. Then the
Oh,
Arab
right.
Spring came into the
He
Civil
died of
War.
he died of a broken heart, didn't he?
No, I think it was a bullet to the head.
All right. Was his last
Same
call to
thing,
Tony
innit?
Blair? Was that confirmed?
No, not that I saw.
All right.
I would be hilarious.
Ashley, the point is one. Capitalism 100% is criminal. Socialism 100% is utopia. It's always going to be a mixture of the two.
Are you
Yeah,
high right
we
now?
could see an increase
No.
to
Why?
Socialism is 100% utopia. No, it's not.
100% socialism is utopic. It will never happen because it
That's
takes
not what
one.
utopia means. Utopia means like paradise.
Oh,
Sorry.
he stood up.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm kneeling.
I'm using the foreign card. Yeah. No, utopia means it's never going to happen. It's a positive thing that's never going to happen. Like dystopia is a negative thing that's never going to happen.
We're living
Anyway.
in dystopia.
Yeah.
I thought dystopia could happen.
That again, Raul?
I thought dystopia could happen.
Yes, it can.
Yeah, we're living in it. Liverpool handed the title. We're in a dystopia.
I heard they're going to cancel the leagues.
It would be hilarious.
Yeah.
There's going to be riots.
They're never going to get that 20th title. A world pandemic stopped Liverpool from getting title number 20.
Do you know? I remember. Do you remember in January when that fucking boat full of tourists came who had COVID-19 and they went to they got a boat back and then they were driven back to Liverpool. Remember the picture that was in all the papers? That Scouse driver that was driving, and he just wasn't wearing a mask.
Maybe he couldn't get one. Even
But
then,
everyone at the time was just like, "Oh yeah, ha, what a laugh! That's normal."
Well,
And
I
they're
mean, that is about Boris as well, because Boris has now got coronavirus, and from the bottom of my heart, ha, 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 ha. What?
Do you really think he's got it? It's
Yes.
not. This is a Dominic Cummings sympathy thing. He pretends he didn't cough. He did a 5-minute speech. He didn't cough once. Where is the persistent cough? He hasn't got it. He hasn't got it.
Dominic
I think
Cummings,
the entire cabinet has it. Because they keep sending out different spokespeople and then they get knocked off one by one with symptoms.
Well,
Literally, it's like a horror movie.
yeah.
They're getting knocked off but one by one. And whenever you have to do a press conference about coronavirus, within 7 days you will have the disease.
This is a sympathy move, PR move. He hasn't got it 100%.
That's
fucking
galaxy
backfired.
brain. That's galaxy brain, Martini. That's galaxy brain thinking. We gave the prime minister a disease, so the people will have sympathy for
so
him.
people think that he's a little less of a cunt. Yes, I'm totally behind this.
I think Dominic Cummings released released coronavirus to begin with, just to get his eugenics policy
Yeah,
through.
and
Yeah, he said we
controlled-
need to think outside the box, so he spread the disease across the country.
Exactly that. Either that, or two other things, or it was God's response to cancel culture. Right, you want to fucking cancel people, you're all fucking cancelled.
Yeah.
Like it says, forgive in the Bible. Fucking how have you not learned? Or number 3, China released it deliberately. Now get this. This is my favourite. What I call sort of like current affairs fan fiction. China deliberately released it, causes a month of like damage to their economy, then causes like a year of damage to the world economy, and we've all got to like social distance and work remotely. And then what that then means we all have to do is we all have to install in every single company around the world the program we're using right now, Zoom, which has a massive research and development headquarters in China. So like for a month of economic damage, is that not totally worth managing to get like a spying equipment installed in every single company ever for like every person?
Yeah, I can believe that.
Rahul, put your spliff down.
Nah, mate, I've got it.
Alex,
you're
I
not
think
the person
Qatar
to be
released
saying
it
that.
because they're not ready to host the World Cup.
I did it because they're not ready to host
Yeah, no, the stadiums aren't ready. We need to release a pandemic so everything gets pushed back.
With the Boris thing, I do think he does it. He does have it, mainly because he's admitted to going to where coronavirus victims are and shaking all of their fucking hands. Of
Yeah, he
course he's done it.
He went to a coronavirus unit and had a gangbang.
Yeah. And you saw Dominic Cummings, a video just yesterday, I think it was, of Dominic Cummings literally running from number 10.
So funny.
There's nothing. I mean, the problem is that Dominic Cummings has run from number 10, and everyone knows that he's going to go into the underground and start coughing on people, because that is the type of person Dominic Cummings is. He is a vile fucking alien parasite of a man. Absolute. Not. I think you'll find I only like science. Yeah, except if you don't agree with it, you little shit. God, he's scum. Have you noticed that it's only killing socialists? Am I right? We're all doing conspiracy bullshit.
Have you noticed that coronavirus is spreading amongst the most woke communities?
Yes. Though there is an interesting thing.
Nobody who's ever performed at Comedy Unleashed has ever had coronavirus.
That's because they're immune.
That's because they're controlling it with 5G.
Hey, you cannot get coronavirus if you've sucked the cock of Toby Young. It's well known.
It was a real monkey's poor wish. I wish there was a cure, but you should have been more specific when you made the wish. You know, you have to suck off the dick of someone who no one turned up to his stag do.
What has been interesting about the coronavirus is that it seems to be discriminating by sex.
2 to 1 men.
Yes. And they're looking into, it seems to be getting more people of men. So like in China, it was 2.8% fatality in men with 1.7 in women. The pattern has also been mirrored by a number of other countries, France, Italy, Spain, Germany, South Korea. In Italy, 71 deaths of men. In Spain, it's twice as many deaths from men than women.
Yeah.
They're thinking the reason could be either an immune difference, or the fact that, and this is anecdotal at best, men are less willing to do things like wash their hands or go to the doctors and stuff like this.
And also, men smoke more.
Washing me hands, count the doctors. Hey.
Women are already constantly by the sink anyway.
You know I don't edit this, mate. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
Face palm.
Yeah, but nobody watches it either, so it's fine. Does that mean COVID-19 is the absolute girl boss? It's like, yes, queen.
I mean, it's about conspiracies. Raul, you said that this was God's answer to woke people. Maybe it's God's answer to Me Too. Everyone ignoring it, so he brings out something that's going to kill mostly men.
Did you hear that Weinstein got corona?
Yes. Weinstein
I mean,
got
what a
corona.
rough year Weinstein's had, eh? Oh man, what a year he's had.
Be honest, at that point, you feel sorry for fucking coronavirus at that point. Imagine being in him.
Ashley, I don't know if you heard this. Apparently, the drug that helps gay men not contracting HIV, called PrEP.
Yeah.
PrEP might slow down coronavirus. So, like, that is not only killing men, it's killing straight men, not gay. Totally not gay. Gay people on PrEP are fine.
Honestly, if it's only killing straight white men, then if it's only killing straight men, just killing straight men, I think that you'll start finding a more natural thing of women going out running at night for some reason that all women want to go running at night, but they can't do because men.
It's only killing straight white men. What is it? The entertainment industry.
What's beautiful is I can watch back and see your mind actually working towards that joke.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see me working towards it then. Oh, his mic's on now. He's ready.
Right. Let's go on to a different piece of news away from the coronavirus. Another happy bit, Yemen. Everyone's been keeping an idea with what's happening in Yemen. Because it's a 5-year, on the 26th, it was the 5-year anniversary of the Saudis and the Emirati intervention into the Yemen civil war.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done a great job so far. 100,000 dead. So we've got, and this is 5 years since President Mansour Hadi fled to Saudi, and a coalition of 20 Arab nations intervened to help drive the Iran-backed Houthis out of the capital. So since 100,000 killed, 80% of the population, which is 24 million, are dependent on aid to survive. Now, I know that we've all talked about the coronavirus and everything else, but this is arguably the biggest humanitarian crisis currently going on in the world.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
How would you potentially look at moving forward as a way at least attempting to take some of the pressure off of Yemen at the moment? I know no one's going to have an actual fucking solution. Do not worry.
Yes.
My solution would be to use Saudi Arabia's. Well, Saudi Arabia fucked the price of oil themselves, haven't they?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Against them. I'd just buy loads of fucking oil, or not buy loads of oil, but sell loads of it and try and use it against them to back out of Yemen, and then you can work on like increasing the price of oil again.
I generally have no clue.
No. Well,
I mean, unless it stops becoming profitable for anyone involved, which doesn't seem to be anytime soon, it's not going to stop, really, is it?
I'm not 100% sure what part of being in Yemen is profitable, unless they've all like insurance brokers and everyone's insuring funerals in Yemen.
Yeah,
Customs trade, maybe?
Nah, it's increased prominence and increased influence in the region, isn't it?
Right,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
It's the same reason anyone fights anywhere. Like anywhere in the Middle East that kicks off between Shias and Sunnis, it's usually Saudi Arabia and Iran Saudi Arabia back the Sunnis and Iran back the Shiites just to fucking have a scrap.
Well, what's interesting is we're seeing now that the UAE and Saudi Arabia are both attempting to control the south of Yemen, and considering they're both meant to be on the same side, a potential of, I mean, this is all going to be soft power argument to let other people die over it. But the UAE are backing separatist movements in Yemen, in South Yemen, that want independence, whereas the Saudis are backing others who, I mean, basically the Saudis want to get the Houthis as far away from Iran as possible. That's what they want, to cut off their communications and power to stop Iran from being the Machiavellian
Presence in Yemen.
Yes. It's one of the interesting things that Iran has done is you see them move their fucking tentacles into other countries via the back entrance.
Yeah. Yes, that Soleimani was quite big for it.
Yes, I mean his death was an interesting I mean, they still haven't really done anything, have they, in terms of retribution to the US?
Nah, mate, if you think Harvey Weinstein had a bad year, Iran, fucking hell, they've had a terrible year. Number 2 in January, they're number 2 in command, gets fucking killed in a drone strike. They respond by shooting down their own plane. And then after that, they get hit by the coronavirus and become one of the biggest hospitals in the world for it. And then don't close any of their fucking mosques, so it gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
Was the new number 2 in Iran Dominic Cummings with this sort of cyber brain thinking of how to win?
That's who Donald Trump dropped the bomb on.
Madness.
By the way, Ashley, what do you think about America? I am projecting 10x death compared to 9/11. They're gonna be the worst coronavirus country in the world by a mile.
Well, it's because you've got, and it's the same within this country, because you've got a leader that is so incompetent when it comes to actually having to lead, who's basically like a walking shit soundbite, then you're never going to have any actual leadership. So you're just going to get more and more deaths. I'm surprised that Trump hasn't come out and said, just go out and lick everyone.
No, he said we're gonna be fine by Easter.
He didn't quite say the herd immunity thing.
Fine.
But sorry, Alex, go on, I interrupted.
Sorry, no. I said he said by Easter we're gonna be fine. We're gonna restart the economy by Easter, which is complete bullshit.
Yeah. Go on. What are you saying, Pat?
Because he's not quite said the herd immunity thing that Boris said, but he did say for a long time that everything was sort of fine. You can just go about your day.
Well,
I believe, didn't he?
Yes, and people keep on mentioning China. We cannot do what China does, mainly because China lacks any form of freedom. And at this point, you have to pick of freedom and trust people to do what's right, or take away all freedoms, lock everyone down, and do an authoritarian state to attempt to get rid of the coronavirus. They are your options. Although if you have a look at like the coronavirus bill, see the coronavirus bill that's coming out, luckily now it's only every 6 months it's going to be re-looked at instead of every 2 years, which was the original, that we were going to give the government basic carte blanche powers to do whatever the fuck they wanted for 2 years. That's been now to every 6 months because people realised what was actually happening. If we had allowed that, then we would move into what China was doing, which is taking away freedoms. Yeah. Would you prefer... Go on.
Could they put anything into the coronavirus bill when it's updated every 6 months? Like, in the next coronavirus bill, it has all the stuff to protect people in the UK, blah, 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 but also no gay marriage. Like, could they put that in and then people just have to pass it? Otherwise, we hate people surviving the virus. Can you just put anything into the bill?
I mean, you look at the stuff they've already put into the bill. It gives them the ability to straight away just go ban any form of protest. They can ban any protest. They can do whatever the fuck they want because it's all... And it's the same that we saw every time that a terrorist attack happened. Is we go, oh, we've got this new law that's going to protect us from terrorism. But you look at the law going, well, no, that's just taking away freedoms. Like, police are now able to stop anyone and detain anyone that they think may have coronavirus. That's it. Just may have. I mean, I'm not sure, because they're not doctors. And listen, the police at the moment are doing a very, very difficult job, harder than they've had to in a very long time. And a lot of police have been taken away, and that is terrible. And the 20,000 and all of this, it's awful. But you cannot give the police the power to go, hey, you've got a history of racism. Why don't we make it easier for you? And then we just find out that all of a sudden, all fucking minorities look a bit coronavirus-y.
Yeah, because you can pretend you say, oh, I thought he had a knife or a gun. You can't pretend, oh, I thought he had coronavirus. I saw it. He was reaching for his coronavirus.
Yeah, he walked away that suggests he had coronavirus.
You think that's happening in America, though? Like, someone coughed on somebody and got done for assault.
As you should.
Yeah, and there was one just today in the UK. Someone spat at a police officer saying they had the virus, and they were arrested.
But
Well,
yeah,
obviously, yeah. But
best one I seen was like a Walmart had to throw out $35,000 worth of vegetables because somebody coughed on all of them saying I've got coronavirus.
Jesus Christ.
See, it's so difficult to not think that those people should just be killed. And you shouldn't think...
I am
no.
getting into that mindset as well. I mean, it is proven, like, if there was a sort of purge day, I know immediately who to go for.
Yeah. You know, I've got a list at this point. Right, we're coming towards the end of this. So
just one thing before the end, because Alex mentioned that there's more deaths in the US from this coronavirus in the US than 9/11, because I think there are quite a lot of parallels between 9/11 and coronavirus in the US, in that Mark Wahlberg could have stopped both. That's all. Sorry.
A couple more stories that we'll quickly get through. New figures have shown that the number of modern slavery offences recorded by police has increased by more than 50% in a year. This is another example of how it was better back in the day when slavery was purer and nicer, it turns out, instead of this modern muck.
Is a lot of that now just sex trafficking, or does that constitute slavery as well?
Modern slavery includes people trafficking, forced labour, servitude, and sexual exploitation. And I assume you can mix them into any particular cocktail.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive.
Haven't been in prostitute, tarmac in my drive.
Venn diagram is a circle.
Now, very quickly, you're not going to solve it, but a quick idea on a way of limiting modern slavery.
Well, making it easier for people to go from country to country, I know that will never happen, but making immigration laws, laxing them, that would stop a lot of slavery, because people come here illegally because they can't afford to do it. Well, it's too hard. But that's not a popular thing, really.
Well, that bringing in the other way is, will our immigration laws create a black market to grow more modern slavery?
Of course it will, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Next bit is George Soros sold $3.4 billion worth of Amazon shares at the last week of February, as we were just all hearing about the coronavirus. Lucky man, or did he know something?
Lucky man. I don't think we can go into George Soros conspiracies at the moment, because it's always like, apparently he's done everything in the world for the last 4 years. It's always been George Soros funded.
Sorry, did I say George Soros?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant Jeff Bezos.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Jeff Bezos.
Oh my, Ashley.
I understood.
Sorry.
Jeff
Quite
Bezos.
a big difference, Ashley.
Sorry.
What the fuck?
I was reading it as well. I don't know what that happened. Sorry, that was...
I was about to say, did
You always have George Soros in your mind.
That was a labour in me.
Peculiar Freudian slip.
Weird, that one.
Shades under your bed.
George Soros sold so much Amazon stock to pay crisis actors to pretend they have corona.
Anyway, lads, this Jewish fella, he sold 3.4 billion of his shares. Why does this Jewish fella have so much money?
This Jewish fella. Sorry, I meant the Pope.
Listen, I messed up the names. I will take that on the chin. That was my mistake.
He's probably lucky, but he probably had some sort of knowledge before. I mean, he's tapped into all the markets. He has a team of advisors.
Yeah.
Right, and now let's end on, we've got Zoom. We're going to end on Zoom. We're all using it at the moment. So let's end on it. Not only was the trading suspended until the 8th of April because Zoom Technologies, which has the stock market ticker Zoom, and Zoom Video Communications, which has the ticker ZM, were mixed up. So people were buying Zoom thinking it was Zoom, and so they ended up buying the wrong Zoom. And so,
what's the other Zoom?
It is Technologies.
Right.
Yeah, the video communication is the one that we're using at the moment, which is the ticker ZM. But but everyone was buying Zoom ZOOM ticker. And so they ended up getting a lot of money thinking, oh, people are liking us.
I've never heard of this.
Yes.
Wow, what have we done? We've kept us under the radar, but everyone's buying our shares.
And the other bit about Zoom is because of the rise of the popularity, people have been doing a bit more research on them. And Motherboard, which is Vice's tech branch, have revealed that Zoom's iOS app has been secretly sharing analytical data with Facebook. Are you worried after this particular conversation that any of this is going to go over to Facebook and we're going to get targeted ads?
I think I've proven over this conversation that I can't afford anything anyway, so I don't think I'll get any ads. So what can we target him apart from Dignitas? But no, it's sort of part of the course now that if you have any sort of tech, you will sell the data to Facebook because that's who's willing to buy it all.
Well, Zoom are also using some software of Facebook for their OSI stuff or OSI stuff. So literally, the moment you log on, it's all going to Facebook.
Yeah, that's probably completely.
Ash, I have chosen to link my account with Facebook. I have given them permission to link with Facebook, YouTube, Gmail. I gave them contacts. I have chosen this because I think the integration of different platforms. I now have added a button that I can open Zoom straight from Gmail. You know, for me that's useful. I'm using a paid version. I really like this software, and I'm all right with this.
I mean, it doesn't come to once again, it's freedom against suppose security. I don't necessarily think that we should be in a position where these companies know everything about us, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily willing to not use them. Convenience takes over.
Exactly.
Right, do we have anything to plug?
I've set up a Patreon page now that I'm an online comedian. Please grab my Patreon or my Buy Me a Coffee.
Cool. Send that over to me, Raul, and I'll put it at the bottom of the YouTube video and the podcast. So this will come out as well. Patrick, anything to plug?
Yeah, I host a self-care podcast called the Better Banter Podcast. We'll probably be using a lot of Zoom soon as well. Episodes up on SoundCloud, link in description, I guess.
Yes. Alex, yourself?
Nothing at the moment. I'm open to inquiries. If you want me to be a guest, opinionated guest on your podcast, please have me. Patrick, I love you. I will. Please get in touch with me, alexmartinicomedian@gmail.com.
Cool. And don't you also have a new, haven't you put one of your shows up as well, Raul?
Oh, yeah. I put up my 2016 Edinburgh show yesterday on my SoundCloud. Newcastle Brown Mail, if you search for it on SoundCloud.
Beautiful show.
Cool. And final piece of news from myself, a bit of happiness. Bacterium has been discovered by scientists that feeds on toxic plastics. So potentially that could be very fun. I want to thank my guests, Patrick Brusnahan, Raul Kohli, Alex Martini, and I will catch you later. Thank you. Bye.